Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yesterday someone asked me, Swami ji, मेरा मन काबू में नहीं आता. My mind does not come under my control. It troubles me too much. It takes me here and there. I want to put it on the Lord, but it does not stay on the Lord. It keeps hijacking me somewhere or the other, into the past, into the future, into the relations, into the what will happen to me. And mind you, she's 86, 87 years old. And it is not that this lady who is old is thinking like this. It is everyone's story. We have not been trained, we have not trained ourselves how to mind the mind. For that, few things we have to understand about our mind. And I'll give you one or two, three options of how to pacify the mind, how to undo the mind, how to quieten the mind. But first, we understand what is this mind. We first understand how this mind functions. First point, mind is something with which we perceive the world. Mind, through the senses, grasps the world and comes to certain conclusions about itself. This is the first point. Second point, if the what it has grasped is wrong, then wrong conclusions. If it has grasped something right, then right conclusions. If it has grasped something which is tamasic, tamasic conclusions. When it has grasped something rajasic, rajasic conclusions. When it has grasped something sattvic, sattvic conclusions it will come to. This is the way, this is the process how the mind functions. And it is continuously interacting with seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting. All this data it's grasping through the five senses and feeling that if it interacts with this, it will become complete. Now this brings us to the third point. Why is mind involving in the world? What is the main purpose of the mind since it came into existence? When did it come into existence? At birth. When it will go out of existence? We think it will go out of existence, all the problems will be over with death. Did we bring about the birth? No, it happened. Will we bring the death? No, it will also happen. But this mind believes that between this window of birth and death, it has a choice. See? And what is the choice that it exercises? It wants to be complete. It wants to be at peace. It wants to be tranquil. It wants to be at rest. This is the main reason for the activity of the mind. What is the activity of the mind? Thoughts, which are. When you have thoughts in the mind, they are of two types. One is Chinta and one is Chintan. If you these are Sanskrit words. If you see Chinta, when na is added to it, it becomes Chintana. Na. That na is meaning missing out of in Chinta. Chinta means worrying. Chintana means contemplating. These are the two ways. Now, next set of data. When does Chinta begin in the mind? When does mind become restless? When does mind become agitated? When does mind become reactionary? When does mind become depressed, sad, excited, overwhelmed, fearful? When does this happen to the mind? This happens to the mind when the mind is thinking about the world. When the mind is thinking about the world, it is called Chinta. What is the world? To put it into two broad categories: relations and possessions. All our worries are with reference to the people in our life and the possessions in our life. Let it sink in. So all worries, all agitations, all fears, all shortcomings of the mind, the restlessness of the mind is because the mind is thinking about the world and trying to find a solution in the world. Remember, what did we say first? The purpose of the mind to come into existence is to be at rest, to be at peace, to be tranquil. But how is it trying to achieve it? By interacting with the world, by possessing the world. Can we stop this interaction? No. We'll come to the solution after. But first understand, Chinta means when the mind is thinking, when the mind is doing Chintana about time, space, objectivity, relations, possessions, past or future, cause and effect. And by getting involved in this, till today, the mind has only got more agitation. Because what it is contemplating on, which is the world, it is finite, it is temporary, it is impermanent, it is coming and going, it is changing. And when the mind does Chintana, contemplates, becomes fixated, becomes focused, concentrated on the changing world, it becomes agitated. It tries to hold on. The world is changing. You cannot hold, the mind cannot hold on. And that leads to fear, agitation, restlessness, etc. Because people are changing, your relatives are changing, your children, your husband, your wife, your parents, everyone is changing. The weather is changing, the days are changing, everything in the world is continuously changing. But mind thinks that if he creates a relationship with all these, it will come to rest, it will come to peace, it will be happy. But till now, it has not happened. Few moments of happiness, like we eat food, we become happy. After 4 or 5 hours, again the hunger comes. And this is the way of the world. And therefore, the mind tries to grab more and more and more and more and more, so that the small joys of interacting with the world become one after the other. That leads to depression. Then what is the solution? Depression is Chinta. Worry leads to Chinta. Then what is the solution? The solution is Chintana. Chintana means na chinta, means no restlessness, means no worrying, means no contemplation on the source of agitation, which is the world. Desha kala vastu, relations, possessions, etc. Then naturally the question comes, then what do I focus on? If my experience of this world is from the time of birth, this space, air, fire, water, earth, parents, brothers, sisters, husband, children, objects, business, job, money, and when I'm continuously thinking of them, if you say, sir, that it leads to agitation, it leads to restlessness, if it leads to, eventually it will lead to depression, sadness, then what is the solution? We have to give a goal to the mind which is not changing. We have to give a focus to the mind which is permanent. See. So if our mind is consciously focused on some unchanging principle, not on some finite but of infinite, logically speaking, yes, that is the way to bring peace and tranquility to the mind. What is that on which we can focus? So we are told, focus on the Lord. How do I focus on the Lord? A very gross way of focusing on the Lord is with name and form. World is not a problem. Our mind has made it into a problem because it wants to possess it. Because it has come to a conclusion, by possessing the world, I am successful. The mind has forgotten that by surrendering to the Lord is the ultimate success. In that forgetfulness, the mind is surrendering to the world of memories, of relationships, of possessions, of success, of excitement. It has surrendered to the world. It has put all its emotional wealth at the feet of the world, which is never the same. It is continuously changing. So we need to consciously bring our mind every day for some time till it becomes automatic. Bring the mind away from it, and our entire emotions, and what do you mean by entire emotions? With complete faith, with complete surrender, with complete bhav, we surrender to that Lord who is the source of this world and the source of this mind and body that we are. And to do that, there are two ways. One is take the name of the Lord. The second is you can even think of the form of the Lord. And these are only steps. So consciously withdraw from the world every day for some time. Look at some picture of the Lord that you like, whom you feel at one with, for whom you have a relationship with. It could be Krishna, Shiva, Rama, Shakti. Let your eyes look at that picture. And when you close the eyes, after some time, the picture will move to your mind. Keep looking at it for some time and chanting the mantra. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Important point is, from multi-pointedness of attention of the mind towards the world, we want to bring the attention of the mind to one thought. And what is that one thought? Here example, Om Namah Shivaya. What does this mantra represent? The divinity. Have we experienced the divinity? No. Therefore faith is required. Therefore commitment is required. Therefore regularity is required. Therefore every day with commitment and regularity, interaction with that divinity which is contained, which these words Om Namah Shivaya are representing, we need to interact with that divinity. Where is that divinity? At the moment, in the picture that you have seen, which is in your mind. If the process is going correctly, if the focus is increasing, eventually you will not be interested in the form, but you want to merge into the form of Shiva, for example. So what do? You bring your attention to the two eyes of the Lord, or the two lips of the Lord, or the 2 feet of the Lord. So from many limbs of the Lord, with many hands, with the snake, this, that, all that is on his body, your attention, as you are in becoming focused and you want to merge into him, you come to the 2 eyes. When you focus on the 2 eyes, you get absorbed into his 3rd eye. When you look at his 2 lips, they are never closed, there is a slight gap. You get absorbed between the 2 lips. When you look at his 2 feet, you get absorbed in between his 2 feet. When that happens, mantra is still going on. All we have done is we have gone beyond the form. For some time, one will be in meditation. Again, with the form, it comes and it goes. We come to realize with this experience that Shiva is formless. Then, how do I interact with Shiva? We continue chanting Om Namah Shivaya because what is the quality of space? Space has got no form. What is the quality of space? Sound. So we continue to keep chanting the sound, that is the name of the Lord, remaining focused on that name, allowing the ultimate merging into the name to happen. Just like you don't know what sleep is, but you think of sleep with faith, devotion, and every night your mind gets absorbed in the sleep. Same way, our mind, when it is chanting the mantra, it gets absorbed in whom the mantra is representing, whether it is Krishna, Rama, Ishvara, Bhagwan, Guru, whoever is your focus. And that merging is not ours to bring about. It happens by grace. By the grace of the Guru, by the grace of the Lord. Our job is to take our mind away from the world of change and focus it on the changeless, that is the Guru or God. So for today, we sit quietly and you decide which Guru, which God is you have a relationship with. And with deep faith, devotion, love, surrender, make your mind available to that divinity. That divinity is the source of the mind. That divinity is the material. Only the Lord can give us or bestow upon us dukkha nivritti, removal of all miseries, and nirunkusha tripti, continuous contentment. Just as when we go to sleep, we, come, we become refreshed to live the world with new energy. Same way, when we surrender to the Lord, the divinity in our heart and mind, we come back into the world with renewed divine vision with which we continue doing what was going on before. We continue interacting with the world. We continue to wake, dream, and sleep. We continue to interact with relationships. We continue to do our work. But without attachment. Because now our vision has transformed. We see the oneness. And that oneness is not outside. That oneness is the Lord in my heart. He is only appearing as everything and everyone, including this body and mind. Thereafter, no individuality. Then what is there? Only divinity.